Hey everybody, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here. On today's Overlanding Gear mods do-it-yourself, I'm going to be talking about another piece of gear. I'm really excited about this piece of gear because I've found myself recently, quite frequently, in positions or situations where like you can't burn fire on the ground, like you can't have a fire on the ground or you don't have a fire pit, or it's just you're in a spot like a national forest that doesn't have those kind of spots, and you want to be safe and you want to be cognizant of the environment. Or I was also recently at a big like overlanding event where there was like people everywhere and you wanted to have a fire, but it's like a grass field and there's people walking around. So again, not like a fire pit, like campsite type of situation. And I saw a couple people that had one of these things that I'm talking about at that expo actually. And then right after I left the expo, on my way home, I was about 11 hours from home. I actually took about 5 hours off the trip and then hit up a national forest in Wisconsin where I stayed for a night. And that's where I was like, okay, I have this great campsite. It's beautiful. But like I actually used my Yuko flat pack grill for it, which is a great little piece of gear, but it's really small, right? To have like an actual fire with actual logs or like bigger pieces of wood, it's a little difficult with the Yuko because it's a little bit smaller. It's meant for like smaller, just like a little tiny campfire. So I picked up one of these pop-up fire pits. Let's dive into kind of the review, the unboxing of this thing. Before we do that, though, I did want to touch on my featured partners. So Overland Addict, awesome shop. They sell everything to do with overlanding, from rooftop tents to fuel cans to fridge freezers. Also, at the time that this video goes live, he may still be having a couple of specials, and if so, I will have links to those in the descriptions, but he's doing like some free shipping stuff and some discount stuff on like big money stuff like rooftop tents. So click through those links below to check that out. Last US Bag Company, again, another amazing American company making super cool like overlanding specific gear bags. So check them out through that link in the description below as well. More Expo coming up here in February. If you click through that link below to check them out, you will see that they actually have 25% off for the first 250 people that buy tickets to the event. It's going to be amazing. I'll be there. It's happening in February of next year. And then last but not least, Northology Adventures, awesome digital magazine. If you click through that link below, you can sign up for their free overlanding magazine / outdoor magazine. And they also do like events and stuff like guided tour kind of overlanding stuff. So it's awesome. And they're great people. So definitely check all those guys out through those links in the description below. But without further ado, let's check out the pop-up fire pit. All right, guys, so this thing's really big. So it's gonna be a little awkward here, but I'm gonna try and make it work. So it does come with a really nice little bag with an adjustable shoulder strap, which I really like. So again, the idea is that you can take this with you. It is a portable fire pit, which again, where I'm talking about using this thing is something like an expo where you can't burn on the ground, something like a beach where maybe you don't have rocks, you don't have a place to burn on the ground. You could use it in your backyard, honestly. Like you could take this thing out in the backyard and set it up. They do make a mat that goes under it that will prevent it from like scorching or burning like grass or things below it. I did not get that because the mat's like almost as much as this thing. So this thing was about 65 bucks. The mat that goes with it is like 50. So I was kind of like, I'll just use it in a safe spot and just be careful with it. But this is the first time I've actually opened it. So let's see what's in the bag. So that's just the bag. So this is the thing, guys. Like, check this out. So here's what's so neat about it. So this is basically like an aluminum, or maybe it's a steel mesh, like a stainless steel mesh. There are, a couple of Velcro strips that go around it. You just pop those off. And then this mesh comes off of the frame. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So you've got this sort of mesh, and this is what you actually have the fire on. So this thing is meant to hold super high temps, and also because it's a mesh, it lets airflow from the bottom of it, so it reduces the smoke that you're going to have from your fire, and it increases the efficiency of the fire so that you can more easily start it, you can get more heat out of it, and again, less smoke, which is just super cool. The other cool thing about this is this frame thing. So you can see how big this is. So this is probably, actually, I'll just look up the dimensions and I'll put them on the screen here. Dimensions. This is how long it is and how wide it is. Again, it packs down into that bag, which is really, really nice. Give me a knife here. So it packs down into that bag, which is really, really nice. But here's what I also like about this. So I saw one of these in action at the last expo that I went to. And that's kind of what sold me, was like just how easy it is to set up and how nice it was. But so it's basically like a telescoping deal. So you just take this thing. It's like one of those instant up awnings is what I like to think of it as. But you basically just like pull it apart, and it'd be easier if it was sitting on the ground. So you kind of like push it down just like that. And it opens up really wide. So you can see that there on the video, and I apologize, I'm like up against the wall here, and actually I can scoot back a little bit. So it opens up like that, and it's probably a few feet across, probably at least a couple feet across. You can see how big that is. So it's pretty big. But then what you do is you take your nice little mesh here, and you basically just put it on the four corners. And that's it. So like for ease of setup, this thing is super easy. Again, I'm going to link to this thing in the description below. So if you're interested in getting one of these, click through that link and check it out. There are a couple versions of this. So I got the cheapest one because I'm cheap. But so it has this little mesh. You set your firewood on the middle with your fire starter, and you just start it up and you have your fire on it. That's all there is to it. The other versions though, you can get a version that has walls. You can also purchase those separately. So if you bought this one and later decided you really wanted the walls on it, you can buy them. They're basically just like nice little walls that they sit down over these poles too, and you put the two sides on, the other two sides on, and you're done, which is pretty cool. Like, it's nice that it's adjustable like that. Again, in my experience, I've almost never dealt with like fire on the ground bans or anything like that until recently. But now that I've experienced it, I was kind of like, you know what? There are multiple benefits to this. Again, I may use it in my backyard. When I go to like Hoosier National Forest near me, which I go to quite a bit, most of them have fire pits, but not all of them. Sometimes fire pits are wrecked or just disgusting or knocked down. If you don't want to mess with it and you just want to set up really quick, this thing will go up in 30 seconds, you know? I also like that it stays off the ground, and the fact that there'll be all that airflow. Like, a lot of the times when I burn on the ground, that next day you wake up and the fire is still smoldering, right? Which is good. If you're going to be there for days and days and days, you kind of want that. It's easier to restart and stuff. But in most cases, I'm probably moving sites every day. I'm probably going to go hit trails and then go somewhere else. And you don't want to leave a fire burning. So again, with the efficiency of the wind coming up under this, it's going to burn down completely. And it's going to be out and burnt and cool by the next day. You dump this thing off. You can disperse the ashes so it leaves less of a trace than a normal traditional fire pit. And you pack it up and you're good to go. You're ready for your next day. And I like that it has a bag too, because then, you know, the inside the bag's going to get dirty, right? Eventually I'll take a shop vac and I'll sweep it out. But it keeps it from getting the inside of my rig dirty. And then same thing next night. Pop this thing up, throw your wood on it, you have fire, good to go. Wake up the next morning, clean it off, disperse it, tread lightly, all that good stuff, put it in the truck, and you're good to go. So again, I just wanted to show you guys that. Pretty cool piece of kit. Very well made, like very sturdy and strong. Here's the sort of the little base pieces. So it's all like cast aluminum. I think this is all cast aluminum, like aluminum pieces, maybe cast, and this is extruded. And then the actual thing that the fire wood sits on is stainless steel. So it's meant to, again, take all that heat, take some condensation, all that stuff, no rusting. So really, really cool piece of gear. So again, there will be a link to that down in the description below. If that's something you're interested in, definitely check that out. Click through that link to get yours. And again, there are different versions. So when you're looking at it, and if you want the walls on the side, if you want the mat, you can click through that. I'll just try and find you links for that too and put those down below as well, just to make it as easy as possible for you. So again, that was the pop-up fire pit. Hopefully that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please post up down in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. If you don't already, make sure to click that subscribe button below. I put out a couple videos a week at least. Everything to do with overlanding. I'm an Xterra guy, so some Xterra stuff, some do-it-yourself mods, and then just general like vlogs and podcasts. I even do a podcast too about overlanding stuff. So particularly if you're a newer person to overlanding or just looking for some tips, or you just enjoy overlanding and like the content, then definitely subscribe. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. There are links in the description below. And as I mentioned, I have a podcast. So wherever you guys like to hang out and listen, hang out, join the conversation. So thanks again for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you next time, and have a good one.